हरि ओम। ओम श्री गणेशाय नमः। ओम श्री हिरण्यगर्भाय नमः। ओम श्री महाविष्णवे नमः। ओम श्री महादेवाय नमः। ओम श्री महादुर्गाय नमः। ओम राम रामाय नमः। ओम श्री सद्गुरवे नमः। ओम सहना भवतु सहनौ भुनक्तु सह वीर्यङ्करवावहै तेजस्विनावधीतमस्तु मा विद्विषावहै। ओम शांति शांति शांतिः। ओम गुरुर्ब्रह्मा गुरुर्विष्णुः गुरुर्देवो महेश्वरः गुरुरेव परब्रह्म तस्मै श्रीगुरवे नमः। समस्तजनकल्याणे निरतं करुणामयं नमामि चिन्मयं देवं सद्गुरुं ब्रह्मविद्वरम्। भवानी शङ्करौ वन्दे श्रद्धाविश्वासरूपिणौ याभ्यां विना न पश्यन्ति सिद्धाः स्वान्तस्तमीश्वरम्। वसुदेवसुतं देवं कंसचाणूरमर्दनं देवकी परमानन्दं कृष्णं वन्दे जगद्गुरुं। रामाय रामभद्राय रामचन्द्राय वेधसे रघुनाथाय नाथाय सीतायाः पतये नमः। बुद्धिर्बलं यशोधैर्यं निर्भयत्वमरोगता अजाड्यं वाक्पटुत्वं च हनुमत्स्मरणात् भवेत्। शङ्करं शङ्कराचार्यं केशवं बादरायणं सूत्रभाष्यकृतौ वन्दे भगवन्तौ पुनः पुनः। श्रुतिस्मृतिपुराणानामालयं करुणालयं नमामि भगवत्पादशङ्करं लोकशङ्करम्। सदाशिवसमारम्भां शङ्कराचार्यमध्यमाम् अस्मदाचार्यपर्यन्तां वन्दे गुरुपरम्पराम्। ईश्वरो गुरुरात्मेति मूर्तिभेदविभागिने व्योमवद्व्याप्तदेहाय दक्षिणामूर्तये नमः। ओम नमः शिवाय 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 ओम नमः शिवाय। नमः पार्वती पतये। हर हर महादेव। हरि ओम हरि ओम। So we are seeing this 14th chapter. Bhagwan tells us that the whole world has come into existence through his Prakriti. And everything is a play of Bhagwan's Prakriti alone. So Prakriti, which is made up of three gunas, they play their own role. So if we understand the functioning of these gunas, it will help us in our sadhana, and we can transcend these gunas and recognize our Supreme Self. In the 7th chapter also, Bhagwan had spoken about it. As Daivi Hesha Gunamayi Mama Maya Duratyaya Mameva Ye Prapadyante Mayam Etam Tarantite. My Maya is Daivi Hesha Gunamayi, Trigunatmika Maya, very difficult to cross, but those who surrender to me, they are able to cross this Maya. So the three gunas, they play their role in our life. The nature of Sattva Gun is clear, crystal clear. It is Prakashamay. And when that Sattva Gun arises, becomes predominant in our Antakarana, we experience Sukha and we experience alertness, knowledge. But when the Rajogun becomes more dominant, then there is a manifestation of different desires, and which propels us into various actions. And when Tamogun becomes predominant, it covers the knowledge. It also creates the lethargy and laziness and sleep. So these three gunas have to be understood when they become predominant. Actually, all three gunas are always there. Only their proportion keep on changing. They are always there. When one guna increases, the other two goes down. So they are always like that. Just as in our country also, we have this parliament, and there are these different parties are there. If one party grows, then other parties, they go down, their numbers go down. Similarly here, only three parties are there: Sattvagun, Rajogun, Tamogun. So when one party increases, the number of the other parties goes down. So this is a beautiful play. So how do we know that Sattva Gun has increased? This can be seen by the sign that Sarvatvareshu Dehismin Prakasha Upajayate. All our senses become alert, and we gain the knowledge through all these senses in the present moment. So it's a guna of full awareness, and when that guna arises, we also feel very peaceful and happy. And how do we know when Rajogun arises? The sign of Rajogun is that one develops greed, desires, and disturbance in the mind, and which propels a person into action. And when Tamogun arises, Aprakasho, Apravrittischa, it suppresses Sattvagun and suppresses Rajogun also. So there is no awareness, dullness happens, and also laziness, absence of activity. So tamassetani jayante vivruddhe kuru nandana. now Bhagwan is telling us in the following shloka number. Yesterday we had not seen about this tamogun, so let us chant verse number 13. Talks about tamogun. Aprakasho pravrittischa pramado moha evacha tamassetani jayante vivruddhe kurunandana. How do we know tamogun has become predominant? Tamogun has come. The sign is that it suppresses rajogun and sattvagun. So the lakshana of sattvagun is prakash, that is knowledge, awareness, alertness. So that goes down. Person becomes less alert, doesn't understand what is happening around. So the prakasha goes down. Aprakasha. And also pravritti, the action, the activity also is suppressed. There is no pravritti, there is no motivation, there is no moving forward, there is no performing any actions. So the rajogun is also suppressed. And when these two gunas are suppressed, then what happens? Pramadaha moha evacha. It brings pramad, forgetfulness, inadvertence, laziness. So it automatically comes. See this, as I said, the gunas are there in everyone and they manifest. So we can see the very clearly the effect of these gunas in our life. A person who is very busy, very alert, regularly goes to work, but on holidays or on Sundays or on vacation, we find that person is behaving totally differently. He is very lazy, forgetful, doesn't remember anything, just lies down. So this is the effect of tamogun. So pramadaha moha, delusion, is not able to understand and take proper decisions. So even when a person is intoxicated under the influence of some alcohol, intoxicant, the tamogun becomes predominant. Such a person is not able to take proper decisions. Such a person, if he drives or does some activity or interacts with people, then it will not be proper. All his delusion, confusions, laziness alone will get manifested. So tamassetani jayante vivruddhe kurunandana. Hey Kurunandana, you understand, if you see these lakshanas, then understand that tamogun has become predominant. So now Bhagwan, after explaining giving the lakshanas of the three gunas when they become predominant, now he says that what happens when a person dies in a particular guna when it is predominant. So our life, our death, our activity, everything is controlled and managed by these three gunas. Okay? So about death and rebirth is explained now in the next shloka. Shloka number 14. Yada sattve pravruddhe tu pralayam yati dehabhrata tadottamavidan lokan amalan pratipadyate. Bhagavan says that yada sattve pravruddhe tu pralayam yati dehabhrata. A dehabhrata, the dehi, the jiva, who is expressing through this body. That Jiva, that Atma, the Kshetrajna, who is expressing in this body, is called Dehabhrit. When that death happens, when that this body gets dropped, because this body we get it when we are born, and it remains till our prarabdha is there, and once the prarabdha which has given rise to this body gets over, then the body gets dropped. But at the time of death, if the sattva gun has become predominant, when a person dies in sattva guna, yada sattve pravruddhetu pralayam yati dehabhrita. Pralayam yati, dies, means the body is dropped when the sattva gun. This is a very rare. A person is at the time of death is alert, aware, and slowly all the things get withdrawn. See, we had seen it before also, how the death happens. First the karmendriyas get withdrawn into the mind, then the jnanendriyas get withdrawn into the mind, antakarana. Then the antakarana itself get withdrawn into the pranas. Then the pranas, they are covered into heat, and that the whole jiva with the pranas, the antakarana and heat as covering, leaves this body, and according to the karma he gains the gati. Okay. Therefore, when a person dies, the whole body becomes cold. So, at the time of death, if the person is in sattva gun, then what happens? The whole sattvic influences take place. As I had mentioned before also, at the time of death, the last moment is very important. So those vrittis get formed. What is called the vag vritti, the mano vritti, and the prana vritti. Means all this vag means all the vag indriyas and the karmendriyas which are there, they at the time of death they get stuck at a particular vritti, and that gets withdrawn into the antakarana. The antakarana also becomes steady in one particular vritti, and that also gets withdrawn into the prana. The prana also gets steady in one vritti, and then the jiva with those vrittis, final vrittis, leaves this body, and depending on those vrittis gains the other gati. As it is said in the Upanishad also, ki yatha karma yatha shrutam. As our karma, as our samskar and knowledge, we gain the future life or future gati. Okay? So if a person leaves this body in a sattvic avastha, see, the whole modern civilization has become such that even dying is not in our hand totally. If a person becomes sick and ill and all, then the whole family takes that fellow person takes him to the hospital, and the hospital staff and all, they take over Their only job is to keep the person alive. Nobody is interested in helping the person to die. Everyone is busy trying to keep the person alive. So even when that person becomes unconscious, we put all sorts of machines and all and keep the person alive. And nowadays, with all these modern facilities, a person can be kept alive for a long time, giving the external support, life support. The hospitals, the doctors, they keep the person alive, and they ask the family members to take decision. If you want, we can remove the life support and the person will die. But such decision also becomes very difficult for the family members to take. So sometimes the person just remains there, stuck as though. It's like some person wants to go, but you hold that person back, tie him down, doesn't allow him to leave. So, in our country and other countries also, nowadays we have that will, we can make a living will where we can in advance declare that what should be the decision taken if one goes into such situation. So suppose everything is conducive, person is in sattva gun while leaving this body, then what will happen? Bhagavan says, Tada uttama vidam lokan amalan pratipadyate. Then that person goes to a higher world. That world which is attained by those who knows the higher thing. Mahadadi tattva vidam. Those who have gained knowledge of Mahat Tattva, of Brahma, who has done Upasana of Vaishwanara, who has done Upasana of Hiranyagarbha, who have gained that positive samskar, who has got the knowledge of the Supreme Divinity expressing at a subtler level. The loka which is attained by such upasak is also attained by a person who drops this body in sattva gun, when sattva gun is predominant. When sattva gun is predominant, that person drops, then he attains that higher world. So the exact condition of our death also plays a very important role. We have seen in the 8th chapter also, where Bhagavan spoke about the two paths, the Dakshinayan and the Uttarayan, and how when a person remembering Ishvara, chanting that Om and meditating on Om as Ishvara, when he drops this body, he attains Ishvara. But a person who has done some upasana and has gained that knowledge of Hiranyagarbha, Vaishwanara, when that person drops that body, he attains the higher world. Others who have done karma, who has done punya, acquired lot of punya through their various rituals and all, they attain the Swargaloka or other higher loka. But that is the Dakshinayan Marga. So there is Dakshinayan Marga, there is Uttarayan Marga, there is that path by which we can attain Ishvara directly. So here also Bhagavan tells similar thing, that when a person drops this body, when the sattva gun is predominant, then he goes to a higher world. So tada uttama vidan lokan amalan pratipadyate, a pure amal means free from all impurity, malarahitan, lokan pratipadyate. There are many lokas are there. Just as we have this Prithvi, we have this Martya Loka, there are many. This whole cosmos is so vast, infinite. So for every action there is a result. For every condition there is a result. So for every situation, every condition of our body, our mind, when we drop this body, then the gati we attain accordingly. So tada uttama vidan lokan amalan pratipadyate. So gains that amal loka, uttama loka, which is attained by those who have gained uttama knowledge. Now Bhagavan talks about what happens when a person dies, when Rajogun is predominant. Rajasi pralayam gatva karma sangishu jayate tatha pralinastamasi mudhayonishu jayate. When Rajogun has become predominant, when a person is disturbed, lot of thoughts are there, lot of desires are there, lot of unfinished expectations and hopes and attachments are there in the mind. Fear is there. So all these signs of Rajogun, jealousies, greed, anger, hatred, with that disturbing mind, when a person leaves this body. So Rajasi pralayam gatva, when the Rajogun is predominant, one dies. Then karma sangishu jayate, then that person is born again in the loka which is attached to karma. And it is actually this Manushya loka is also called a loka where generally all beings are attached to karma. Therefore it's called karma bandhan. ये करना है, वो करना है, वहाँ जाना है, ये ऐसे करना है. So busy performing various types of karma. So karma sangeshu jayate, again is born as a human being. And continues with his life. See, here Bhagavan is giving the broad picture. There are a lot of combination, permutations. Sometimes if the punya karma is more, that person goes to higher world, Swarga Loka. If papa karma is more, then go to a lower loka, like a Naraka Loka and all. So just a broad picture is being given here. So Rajasi pralayam gatva karma sangishu jayate. And tatha pralinastamasi. And when a person dies, when the tamogun is predominant, when the mind is filled with tamogun, laziness, dullness, sleepiness, delusion, confusion, depression, all these are signs of tamogun. So tatha pralinastamasi, in this tamogun avastha, person leaves this body because the mind gets stuck in that mood, in that guna. And when it leaves this body, it just takes that form which is most conducive to that particular mood. See, we can perform karma, we can do our sadhana with the help of our physical body, when we are in this physical body. We can't do our sadhana when we leave this body. We need a body to do our sadhana. Sharira madhyam khalu dharma sadhanam. This sharira is a dharma sadhan. a means. For example, if you are traveling, that vehicle is a means. Suppose you go out of that vehicle. Many people, they travel by train, then they get down on a particular station to eat that chai pakoda and all. And if they are busy eating, the train leaves and they are stuck on that station. Then they will have to take whatever means available there. Similarly, we are traveling in this body, doing our sadhana, but when we exit this body, in whatever condition we are, we have to continue from that condition. So if we are in tamoguna avastha, then accordingly the future will be determined by that. So this is how the working of this whole world happens. Bhagavan is just presenting the features of this Prakriti. The Prakriti is running the show of this world. So if we understand this whole mechanism properly, we will make good use of it. It's like our computer or our mobile. So the mobile company produces that mobile. Let us say you have this Apple mobile is there. So that company has produced it. It has put all the features there. The hardware as well as software is there in that made by the company. But that mobile functions only when a particular person buys it and activates it under his name, gets a phone number, gets that all the features. So I, the user, with my own desires, ambitions, and the mobile company who has given me this instrument, together make this activity possible. Similarly, in this whole creation, Bhagavan is the one who has given us this body, who has given us the mind, who has given us our intellect. This is given by the Prakriti. But how does the Prakriti activates and does all these activities and functions? According to our input. So based on our avidya and based on our desires, we put the input in this Prakriti, and together all the activities take place. So it is all set. It is all what you call programmed. It's all programmed. Just like if we want to bring about some change in our mobile and all, we have to go to that expert who knows about it. He says you do this way, do that way, then it will work. If it becomes dark, you can brighten it. If the volume is low, we can increase it. All sorts of things we can do. So our input and the hardware, software from the company together makes the activity possible. Similarly, our avidya with all the desires and Bhagavan's Prakriti together runs the show of this samsara. If I am not interested in samsara, I can become free. If I am interested in samsara, then I get stuck. The choice is with me. The choice is to remain stuck in this samsara or become free. Those who want to become free, they are called mumukshus. They say, enough is enough, I want to become free. Then the company tells how to become free, how to deactivate, how to become free. But if you don't want to become free, then if you want to get stuck and have various experiences, then the company says, okay, you do this and you can have all these features and you can enjoy. But you have to pay your bill. So this is how the whole life works. Okay? So Rajasi pralayam gatva karma sangeshu jayate. When a person dies, when the Rajogun is predominant, he is born again into the world which is where people are attached to karma. So in Manushya Loka. And Tatha pralinas tamasi mudha yonishu jayate. And when the tamogun is predominant and a person dies, then he is born in a mudha yoni, a lower birth, where the awareness is less, like in pashu, animal, birds, plants, trees, microbes, virus. See, once we become human, there is no possibility that we will become human again. If we encourage more and more tamogun in our life, then we can go down in the ladder. So a person is born as a pashu. So in this way, Bhagwan told us about what happens when a person dies in a particular guna when it is predominant. Now he just summarizes what was told in the previous two shlokas. Bhagwan says, Karmanas sukrutasyahuhu satvikam nirmalam phalam rajasastu phalam dukkham ajnanam tamasa phalam. Bhagwan says that karmanaha sukrutasyahu satvikam nirmalam phalam. That a person who does sukrut, good karmas, who is sattvic more and more. So the result of this sattva gun is nirmal, is pure, is higher. So when we encourage more and more sattva gun in our life, through our karma, through our upasana, through our satsang, through our sadhana, through karma yoga, through japa, tapa, upavas, dana, various ways when we invoke the sattva gun in us. See, just as in winter it becomes so cold everywhere. So what do we do? In our own room, we put on the heater. So the whole room becomes warm and comfortable. Though the outer weather is very cold, but the room we can make it very pleasant. But for that we have to put forth extra effort. We have to utilize extra energy to make it comfortable. Similarly, whether it is what you call Satya Yuga, Treta Yuga, Dwapar Yuga, Kali Yuga, the whole world has become tamasic, rajasic. We can put forth energy through our sadhana and make our internal world more and more sattvic, more and more of Satya Yuga, invoking the Sattva Gun. Sometimes we have to put forth more effort to invoke the Sattva Gun in us. So the result of Sattva Gun is nirmal, is pure, takes us to the higher world, and in this life also it manifests sukha and shanti, that prasad, we experience that inner joy. And with that sattva gun, when we do our sadhana, we can attain our final goal. It helps us in our meditation, It helps us in our Shravan, Manan. It helps us in our Karma Yoga, Upasana, in everything. So Karmanas Sukrutasyahu Satvikam Nirmalam Phalam. And Rajasastu Phalam Dukkham. And the phala, result of Rajogun is Dukkha. See, even with all the activities and running around and trying to fulfill our desires and all, we get temporary joy out of it. But it always concludes with some sorrow, pain, suffering. Because it is with our effort, with our Rajoguni activities, we get a temporary pleasure. But once that activity stops, once that contact stops, again it gives sorrow. So the joy and excitement which one gains through Rajasic activity, it is dependent on the situation, dependent on the world, dependent on certain conditions. But the joy which we gain when we are in Sattva Gun, it comes from within. It's the inner joy, the peace, the joy, it manifests from our own self. But the joy and excitement and things which we gain through Rajasic activities are external, so-called external, means it depends on conditions, external conditions. When those conditions are fulfilled, we are happy. When the conditions get disturbed, we again become unhappy and again try to create that condition. So always there is restlessness, there is disturbance, there is fear. Therefore Bhagavan says, Rajasastu phalam dukkham. In short, the phala, the result of Rajogun is dukkha, sorrow. And ajnanam tamasa phalam. And what is the result of tamogun? Ajnan, ignorance, delusion, dullness, laziness. Person becomes more and more dull. So these three gunas, the combination of these three gunas itself is the whole play. Just like in the colors also, we have some basic colors. Three basic colors are there, which you combine in different proportion, we get different colors. Similarly, these three colors are there, as though of these three gunas. Sattva gun is like white color, Rajogun is like in between color, red color, and Tamogun is like black color. So combination, permutation of these three colors play all this role. And that Brahma, whose Prakriti is this, to whom belongs this Prakriti, that Brahma is colorless, you can say. Doesn't have any color. The same Brahma Ishvara expresses in three colors and creates this whole show of this world. With our input. So karmanas sukratasyahu satvikam nirmalam phalam rajasastu phalam dukkham ajnanam tamasa phalam. The phala of tamagun is ajnana. So further Bhagavan tells what happens with these three gunas. Sattvat sanjayate jnanam rajaso lobha evacha pramadamohau tamasah bhavato jnanam evacha. Bhagavan says कि सत्वात् संजायते ज्ञानम. When that sattva gun is predominant, then knowledge happens. Knowledge happens means through our senses, through our mind, through our intellect, the greatest opportunity is there for gaining knowledge. If it is directed toward the world, we can gain the knowledge of the world. If we direct the Sattva Gun towards Ishvara, we can gain the knowledge of Ishvara. If we direct the Sattva Gun towards ourselves, we can gain the knowledge of the self. It is that opportunity is available for us to gain knowledge, because the senses, the mind becomes absolutely conducive for knowledge. So sattvat sanjayate jnanam. See, there are people who are born with the predominant sattva gun. As we had seen in the 4th chapter, the whole this varnashram dharma is based on this guna and karma. Guna karma vibhagashaha. So the brahmana is basically who has predominant sattva gun, then rajogun and tamogun. A kshatriya has got predominant rajogun, but then sattva gun and tamogun. So if rajogun is backed by sattva gun, then it becomes positive rajogun. But if that rajogun is backed by tamogun, then it becomes negative. Even if sattva gun is backed by rajogun, then it leads to good positive activity also for the benefit of this world. So all these combinations are there. So if the rajogun is predominant but it is backed by tamogun and then sattva gun, then that person becomes a vaishya. He has got a lot of activity, but a lot of some selfishness is also there. A kshatriya doesn't have selfishness because of this sattva gun, but in a vaishya, little selfishness also comes. And if a person is more predominantly tamasic, then the rajogun and tamogun, then it's a shudra mentality, laziness, sleepiness, dullness, not understanding. So is guided by other people, other gunas. So Bhagavan says that sattvat sanjayate jnanam, through sattva gun, knowledge manifest. But when there is rajogun, rajasaha lobha evacha, greed comes into our system, greed takes over. Because rajogun creates all this disturbance, and since that sattva gun is suppressed, one starts thinking that my joy, my pleasure is out there in the world. I'm gaining it from this object, that object. So I want it more and more. So the greed takes over. So that is the sign of rajogun, lobha. And pramada moha tamasaha bhavataha ajnanamevacha. And when the tamogun becomes predominant, then Bhagavan says pramada, forgetfulness, inadvertence, moha, delusion, confusions, ajnanam, ignorance, all this starts getting manifested. Okay? Again, one more verse, Bhagavan concludes. He says, Urdhvam gachanti sattvasthaha madhye tishtanti rajasaha jaghanya gunavrittasthaha adho gachanti tamasaha. Urdhvam gachanti sattvasthaha, one who gains abidance in sattva gun, tries to remain more and more in sattva gun. Tries to remain more and more in sattva gun. That's what Bhagavan had advised Arjuna, कि Nirdvandvo sattvastaha niryogakshema atmavan. They try to remain more and more in sattvagun, invoke sattvagun. So as I said, we can invoke it through our own effort by doing sattvic activity, also by consuming sattvic food, etc. By following the sattvic lifestyle, we can invoke sattvagun by going to a sattvic place, being with a sattvic people, making full use of the sattvic time of the day. So one can remain more and more in sattvagun. So such person, urdhvam gacchanti, they evolve. They rise in their spiritual evolution. Automatic, those thoughts, those things will start coming into us. And very interestingly, also the whole atmosphere around also start becoming more and more conducive to our guna. It's also very interesting. A sattvic person attracts sattvic people around. A rajasic person will attract rajasic people. A tamasic person will attract tamasic people. Therefore, there is a very beautiful saying in English that show me your friends and I will tell you what type of person you are. All our friend circle and all, it depends on our own gunas only. So tamasic person will make friendship with those tamasic people with whom they can just sit and express their tamasic tendencies. So urdhvam gacchanti sattvasthaha, and I am established in sattvagun, I will rise higher in my spiritual path, on my spiritual evolution. Madhye tishthanti rajasaha, and those who are rajasic, they remain in between, they remain stagnant. Their life doesn't go higher and it doesn't fall down also, they remain as though stuck. Madhye tishthanti rajasaha. A rajasic person doing something and running around and all, if you see his condition now, and if you, again he continues with that same activity, if you see that person after 10 years or 20 years, he is same. Certain things outside around him has changed, but he is same restlessness, same foolishness, as though stuck, stagnant, not evolved. From a small house, he has now a big bungalow, but that person has not evolved. His furniture has evolved. His mobile has become smarter and smarter. His car has become more modern. His environment looks more high, sophisticated. But that person has remained same useless fellow with no evolution. So if he continues, he dies at the same level only. Again he is born in the similar condition, again goes through the same life in the same way, again dies, again. So always stuck in the same level, more or less. Like a person stuck in a whirlpool, appears to be going round and round and round, but is stuck in the same place. Or a person on a treadmill, it appears as though he is walking a lot and running also, but he is at the same place. Similarly, a rajasic person gets stuck spiritually at a particular level itself. But if that rajogun is combined with tamogun, then it comes down. And if that Rajogun is combined with Sattva Gun, he rises up. It's like the gas balloon. You have a huge balloon, hot air balloon. You can sit in that basket and rise with that balloon. If you want to rise higher, you throw the weight down. Some weights are kept, which are thrown down, then the balloon can go higher. If you reduce the gas, the hot air and all, the balloon will come down. So depending on the condition, it can go higher or it can go down or it can remain at one level. Nowadays we have the drones also, no? You can put a camera on the drone and you can just lift it high, or you can place it at a particular level. You can take it forward, backward, sideways, or you can bring it down. Similarly, these three gunas take us up and down in our journey in life. So Bhagavan says Sattva Gun takes us higher, Rajogun keeps us stagnant in life, and Jaganya Guna Vrittisthaha Adhogachanti Tamasaha, and those with Jaganya Guna Vritti have a very negative tamasic way of life and seated in tamogun of nidra, alasya, etc. Nidra, alasyadi tasmin stita jaganya gunavrittistaha moodhaha, foolish, deluded person. What happens? Adhogachanti, they fall down. They devolve, go down in the spiritual evolution. They might be having some nice mafia lord and doing all sorts of violent and negative activity in the world. But spiritually, that person goes down. And our spiritual evolution is the most important. We should measure the success of our life on our spiritual evolution. If I am born at a particular level spiritually, and after living my life, if I rise on my spiritual journey, then my life is successful. Some people measure their life based on the properties which they have bought, on the furnitures which they have, on the achievements, worldly achievements which they have attained, on the number of followers which they have on their Twitter and Facebook and all, on the fame which they have. These are not measures. These are not the proper measure. We should measure our life based on our spiritual evolution. So if we sit more and more in Sattva Gun, we will rise. We don't have to put forth any effort also. Just like a hot air balloon, it just rises. Similarly, we can just evolve on our spiritual journey by invoking Sattva Gun. But we remain stuck if we are seated in Rajogun, and we fall down if we are seated in Tamogun. So this is the whole theory of gunas. Bhagavan has explained in detail the nature of the gunas, how to recognize when they are predominant, what happens if we die in a particular gunas, and all this Bhagavan has explained. Now in the following two verses, Bhagavan concludes by saying that how we can transcend these gunas. The whole idea of knowing these gunas is to transcend them and to gain that moksha, to become gunatita, to become free of this bondage of these gunas. So that very interesting shlokas are there that we will see in our class on Monday. So tomorrow Saturday and then Sunday we will have no classes. We will continue with our class on Monday. Okay? So till then you take care, be happy, safe, peaceful, healthy. Do your work, do your sadhana, listen to this pravachan, contemplate, understand, and find out the secret of how to remain more and more in Sattva Guna. Okay? You yourself should discover, do some research, find out how you can make your own antakarana more and more abide in Sattva Guna. Okay? See, when it is cold, you find means to keep yourself warm. Similarly, you should find means of keeping yourself in Sattva Guna. And we shall meet again on Monday. Hari Om. Shri Ram Jaya Ram Jaya Jaya Ram. 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 Jaya Jaya Ram, Jaya Jaya Ram. Bali Siva Ramachandra Bhagwan ki Jai. Om Purnamada Purnamidam Purnat Purnamadachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnameva Vashishyate. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Hari Om Shri Gurubhyo Namaha. Hari Om.